listening to What the Truck.
Whoa! Dorian preempted us, man. We're starting a little later than usual. It's 4 o'clock, so thanks to those of you out there who are hanging with us on the visual version of the podcast, where we have been all over the place, right, Chad? I was in Dallas.
You were in Dallas.
We was in Denver.
And I prefer Denver over Dallas. But hey, no hating to Dallas. We love you too, Dallas.
Well, tell me, is there a story behind that?
I hated the Dallas Cowboys growing up. I was a 49er fan. Yeah. But we don't have to go down that lane.
Well, you know how on the news, though, like, or when you're watching Cowboys games, they'll fly over and you see that building with the green piping?
Yeah.
That's like every building there now.
Well, the Cowboys are very arrogant fans. But I guess any fan base might be like the New England Patriots.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Oh, the New England Patriots, that's a hot take. They're like the two most hated teams. Maybe they'll come after the Steelers next.
But when I lived near Washington, D.C. in Richmond, the Redskin fans were very arrogant too.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to care about the Titans to hate them.
Yeah. And not many do.
Well.
Okay. So, the name Dorian, did you know there's actually a principle behind the naming of hurricanes?
Yeah.
And I don't know why Chad will probably never be used, and either will Dooner. I'm sorry to tell you.
I'm imagining you have a list over there, and I'm going to ask you, has Dooner ever been on there?
Dooner has never been on there.
Is there some convention to it, though?
There is. There's a whole history. You want me to? You ready? I'm gonna. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes,
but like,
go after it.
Like, what? Why do they name hurricanes? Like, have you ever?
Why
wondered?
do they name? Probably like the same reason, like
that?
serial killers, they use their middle name, like Henry Lee. Everyone was like, why does everyone have like a Lee in their middle name? Who's so you can distinguish them, right? If it just had like a scientific name, it would be confusing to the layman. They would be like Hurricane Iglesias. Right.
Well, okay. So, actually, hurricanes have been named for hundreds of years in other cultures, but in our culture, they tried to do them scientifically by describing the latitude and the longitude and the date.
Yeah.
Which obviously led to all kinds of errors and was hard to remember.
Yeah.
And then apparently, I think it was during World War II, the soldiers began to name hurricanes after women, and that became so memorable that then the meteorological society came in and they were like, you know what, we're going to adopt the standard, although we are going to, on even numbered years.
You look very Mr. Rogers in that pullover you have right now with your button down shirt, by the way.
While I explain the history.
You should just hang it up in here before we go on air.
I like
on the
this
screen.
thing. I don't look Mr.
Tied to
Rogers.
your shoes on the side of the booth.
Hey,
did you know the name Dorian?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, I must say.
You know the name Dorian? Do you know that it means child of the sea?
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. Comes from the Greek Doros, who is the son of Helen of Sparta, who is the daughter, if you want some gossip, that was the daughter of Zeus and Leda. For all you Greek mythology, family, dendrology lovers over there, that's fancy for the study of trees. Brother.
Wow, that is very fancy. It kind of reminds me of Dora from Finding
Dora the
Nemo.
Explorer. Although wouldn't genealogy be the study of family trees? I'm just like, dendrology is the study of trees.
Huh. I don't know that, what's the difference between an ophthalmologist and an optometrist?
I don't know, but I was watching a true crime show, and it was based in the South somewhere, and one of the ladies, like they always do like cutaways to people talking about the murder. Well, they figured out who in town had killed, I think it was their daughter.
Like the forensic files?
Yeah, and the aunt was like, they pissed on the wrong family tree.
That's a good mixed metaphor. Right?
Well, and here, we've had a lot of storm coverage. We opened talking about storms. A lot of storm coverage you've probably noticed on social media. The same alerts that you're getting to watch What the Truck. You've been getting to watch the storm coverage that Nick Austin and Craig Fuller have been all over.
And, while you can probably watch, of course, the weather station or CNN in a lot of places that might be tracking the storm and getting a lot of media attention out of it, but you can't get the special slice of freight. That's right. You can't get the special slice of freight perspective.
It's impact on freight. Speaking of headlines, though, we're John Paul Hampstead. What the original?
Wow.
What the Truck original? He's going to come in here in a bit, but let's go to the headlines. First, we got to pay the bills. TriumphPay is the leading carrier payment platform in transportation. With over 50,000 carriers paid, TriumphPay helps to drive capacity, efficiency, and cash flow for brokers and shippers. Visit TriumphPay.com to learn more. Oh, what is this? 344. Oh, this isn't good news. 344-unit truckload carrier shuts down HVH Transport, a 344-unit trucking company, has abruptly shut its doors, Chad.
Yep.
It's the latest in a string of trucking failures stemming from an economic environment that has put pressure on operating ratios. The Denver, Colorado, which is where we just were, truckload carrier operated in all contiguous states west of the Appalachian Mountains, with the exception of the Deep South. According to Pittsburgh, the trucking company has been operating since 1956 and was acquired by HCI Equity Partners, another private equity firm stepping in there. In October 2012, initial reports in the wake of the abrupt shutdown indicated that the company left drivers stranded on the road. Where have we heard this one before? And maybe in Youngstown, Ohio, in a situation that was eerily similar to the sudden closure of Falcon Transport, another private equity-backed trucking company that abruptly closed earlier this year. I'm almost surprised I didn't have to stay in Denver for this one.
Because you might have gotten stranded. You know, subsequent to the publication of the story, the company's CEO, Dooner, John Kinnelly, he said that they were actively working to avoid stranding drivers and get them back home. But we, through our investigative reporting, have found otherwise. 2 days after HVH Transportation's abrupt closure, 150 truck drivers, including James Delva, are still stranded. Still, right now, across the country, without working fuel cards.
Yeah, they shut those things off almost immediately.
Yeah, well, and it's that's according to a report from our own Clarissa Hawes,
who also did Falcon with myself.
Yeah. Delva told FreightWaves early Thursday, that's today, that he is currently under a load and stranded in Phoenix, Arizona, more than 1,800 miles away from his home in Lawrenceville, Georgia. He said his sister purchased
our backyard.
Right, pretty nearby. He said his sister, she's coming to the aid, purchased a bus ticket so he could get home. It's not fair or right for drivers who dedicate themselves and practically live on the road in their trucks, Delva told FreightWaves. I am doing my job, driving safe and careful, but I'm not being paid for my time and work. And it does sound like a situation you're familiar with, Dooner.
Yeah, I mean, we've been hearing a lot about these stories this year. This is eerily similar to one that I did where a lot of people were stranded. And it wasn't just that. It was like people in operations as well who couldn't get like their expenses. You know, we outlay a lot of expenses. If something just shut down, especially when we had a lot of plane tickets to go to conferences, I could see people being out thousands of dollars. I mean, that's how that stuff happens. People have to buy office equipment on their own cards. It's not a great situation.
Yeah, it's, we did have, we may be poking our heads up out of the freight recession, such as we were seeing here in 2019.
Still be casualties.
But there are still casualties, and it's,
And here's another one, right?
Just trending up, yeah.
So, tell us about one.
I guess bad news does come in threes today. Let's hope not. Here's number 2. Ellenwood, Georgia-based Ready Trucking will cease operations effective, tomorrow, according to CDL Life. Ready Trucking has 108 power units, 91 drivers, so not as big, but still significant. 91 drivers and recorded more than 5.6 million miles in 2018, according to the FMCSA's Safer database. The family-owned company was established in Metro Atlanta in 1968, operating as a local cartage company. The carrier began to offer regional service following industry deregulation in 1980.
Yeah, 2019 has been the worst year of profitability. That sounds like a tasty dessert.
You're getting very professorial.
Like a profiterole. In the trucking industry in over 5 years, even the downturn of 2016 was not nearly as painful in terms of operating losses. Operating ratios measure operating costs in relation to revenues. A high operating ratio is considered a bad thing. 100 is an operating break even. Anything above 100 is a loss, and anything below represents operating profit. OR will come before any debt servicing, distribution, or traffics. This data is compiled based on financial reports from over 220 truckload fleet profiles representing over 70,000 trucks ranging from mid-side. The operating data is aggregated in partnership with the Truckload Carrier Association's Truckload Indexes and available in Sonar. A lot of people bring that up. Where does that data come from? It's verified, right?
Right.
And that's number 9. That is number 9 now. If you're counting, it's 9 mid-sized large carriers that shut their doors in 2019, including HVH, NEMF, Falcon, and LME. Chad, what do you think?
I think that's a lot to keep up with, but,
Yeah. Driverless trucks. I guess that's not good either, because now that's less job, too. So driverless trucks.
It does come in threes.
Driverless trucks debated ahead of proposed regulation. So federal regulators should no longer interpret their rules to assume that commercial trucks have someone operating them from the driver's seat, according to the American Trucking Association. The recommendation to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration was submitted in response to the agency's advance notice of proposed rulemaking, very long names, NAPRM, to evaluate whether to issue a more formal rulemaking on Level 4 and Level 5 automated driving systems, those that don't require A human to operate them, Chad.
Yeah, because you know what happens when you assume, right, Dooner?
Hmm?
Yeah, don't assume. These things could be autonomous. The ATA declined to comment on when level 4 and 5 automation would become commercially available, deferring instead to individual companies. San Francisco, California-based Embark, which is developing level 4 software for heavy-duty trucks and has touted the safety benefits to automated trucks, also declined to state specific timelines. However, this is a quote, "We believe, along with the growing consensus of industry experts, that the economic and technological advantages of level 4 trucks are likely to be one of the first widespread applications of vehicle automation technology," the company generically stated in its comments.
Yeah. Truck manufacturer Navistar agreed with FMCSA's approach to how the hours of service rules should be continued with the use of level 4 and level 5 automation. Because, look, when there's a human at the control is what they're saying, the hours shouldn't count. I mean, when there's human at the control, the hours should count.
I disagree.
When they're not at control, they shouldn't.
Yeah, but I still.
You think they should count no matter what? Because it's kind of working, right?
I don't know. That'll go by the wayside once there's a lot of level.
They'll just work 24 hours.
Well, I mean, the guys won't. You can sleep while it's going, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's debate that in the
We will. Hold on.
7 to 11.
But here's the levels, because we always mention the levels, but I don't think anyone's really outlined them, at least on this show. So level 1.
Actually, we did, but like about 100 shows ago.
Okay, well, so like episode 2 or something, not in visual, not in video, and not out of my mouth. So level 1 is what my car has, right? And a lot of cars, that's really just the variable cruise control and lane keep assist. That's in a Honda Fit.
Yeah, that's not your Vespa.
My Vespa does not have any automatic controls. You have a level 2, which is like what your car,
Yeah,
it
man.
can handle some driving as well, but needs a human to be aware of what's going on.
It freaks me out.
You took your hands off, and I was like, put him back on, put him back. That's also what a Tesla has. Tesla's a level 2, but I think it's a little bit more advanced than what's ever running on the under the hood of your Honda Insight.
Yeah, you're going 75 miles an hour down the freeway, and you start like going on a big long bend, and what? You're just trusting the steering wheel?
Yeah,
that takes some trust, and I'm not ready.
3 is like parole. That's conditional. It needs a human driver in non-ideal conditions, like that hurricane. So you wouldn't ride around Hurricane Dorian with your level 3 automation set on there. Level 4 are fully self-driving under most circumstances. A human still enters destination, but that's basically it. So that's what Waymo is testing right now is level 4. I just wanted to clarify that. I want to make sure it wasn't 5, because level 5, that's just like a total robot baby. That's like, it's doing its own stuff. It knows where to go.
Total robot baby?
It's getting information from any other port. You're not even putting in a destination. It's just completely automated.
Then, see, during that, who needs to be regulated with hours of service? I'm sorry. My robot can take the shipment with nonstop.
Should we raise the IQ of this booth?
Sure.
5, count of 5. 5 good minutes. There comes JP.
Here he is.
What up?
Coming to the cowbell like a dinner bell. Hey, did you hear that? We were talking about this on yesterday's What the Truck, but who is it, Popeyes? Or who's bringing that Beyond Chicken to the plate?
Yeah.
Bojangles, maybe. No, is Bojangles on
Beyond Chicken was...
KFC.
That was KFC?
KFC.
I did not... Wow, so KFC's going to have Beyond Chicken.
They're going to have Beyond Chicken.
You guys
Limited locations.
You guys are
Make Chattanooga one of them. You're going to have like... Because, like, what's your Whopper count? What's your Impossible Whopper count at?
5.
5?
Wow. You guys are going to become meat eaters before we know it.
I had a Beyond Burger in Denver, too.
Me too. I had room service. I had an Impossible Burger delivered to my room.
Yeah. What Beyond?
Oh, you had Beyond. I had Impossible.
Are you sure?
That's what it said in the menu.
Pretty sure. Who knows? Where were you staying?
At the resort we were at, the Gaylord with the Sleepy River.
You might have had an Impossible.
Where'd you stay?
No, that's where I was too.
Maybe were you on the Lazy River eating chicken sandwiches? Fake chicken sandwiches?
I don't know, man. It was in another state. Did it really happen?
Yeah. Why are you here? We're gonna talk about like some hurricanes, some stuff. Well, first of all, just real quick, because you wrote a couple of articles on it. What was your takeaway from McLeod? I know Tom said some interesting things. You listened to the ATA do their rap.
Yeah. I thought Tom McLeod's opening statement was pretty interesting. It was kind of structured as just your typical overview of new products and the kinds of stuff they do for their customers. But I think the subtext of it was, when you take it all together, they've really been able to build all of the functionality of like a digital freight brokerage. Like they're doing automated pricing. They're doing automated load matching. They're doing robotic processes to automate workflows. Like they are driving productivity on a per broker basis.
Payment as well, right?
Yeah, payment, all different, and it's like I don't think they necessarily do a great job telling the story of that. They don't have the kind of unity of product design and marketing that a slick Silicon Valley tech company has. It's a kind of a it's almost like a giant 30-year-old operating system that keeps sprouting new appendages, and it becomes unwieldy and large, and all these different modules and yada yada yada. But I think when you really think about what they've been able to do, it's everything that Convoy or Uber Freight says it can do. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Integration. Integration was a big thing I was hearing at this one. Like previous years, a lot about tech, freight tech was coming up, and now it seems like the survivors are more interested in partnering.
Yeah, and they're I think especially the TMS space became more crowded. There are different kinds of.
You almost sound like a cartoon character.
TMS. The TMS space became more crowded. And so like they're trying to offer more services, lock in partnerships, get stickier with their customers.
Wow, you've got all the jargon.
I sat next to their CFO too, actually at lunch.
No wonder.
McLeod CFO, and he said some really, because I was asking him, I was like, "Are you guys going to switch over to the cloud?" Like because they're
is that Casey you're talking about? Wait, who's the CFO?
No, CFO.
CFO.
Yeah,
is the CFO?
That's a chief financial officer, Chad.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
It is?
He seemed like a nice young man.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I don't remember his name. Okay.
All right, about this weather.
No,
Okay.
Integration is the name of the game. Everybody's got app fatigue. You want to be the one-stop shop and customize it, right? That's kind of the general.
Yeah. That's basically it.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool, man. So those are some of your takeaways.
It was cool. Yeah, and as far as Bob Costello, chief economist of the ATA goes, like I said, everything he said about the macro economy and the trucking industry made sense until he got to the so-called driver shortage.
The comment section didn't care for him either.
Really?
On our own site, yeah, they didn't care for his statements.
Well, yeah.
Is he unpopular with drivers?
It's the problem is like he's the chief economist of a lobbying group that represents the very largest carriers. And so that's it's not like an academic objective assessment. It's economic research and thought leadership in the service of a particular segment of the industry, the very largest players.
All right, any warning signs that we should look out for freight for this hurricane? Nick is going to come with a fast-paced forecast so we can talk about the actual weather conditions and that, but we know it's coming up. Yeah. We've had plenty of coverage on FreightWaves Live today, dealing with it. You've seen Nick and Craig Fuller if you're a diehard dedicate to the FreightWaves social media channel. So what's up with that? What's up with the freight?
Yeah, so last night I started reaching out to brokers, asking them if they had seen any activity related to Hurricane Dorian weather from their customers or FEMA.
Oh.
And at first, nothing, and during the afternoon, then about 5 p.m. Eastern time, they started getting back to me and saying, yeah, we're starting to get tons of loads tendered. It was about when FEMA had upgraded the forecast that Dorian was going to hit as a Cat 3. Now, of course, they're saying Cat 4. Yeah. But the bottom line is that they're seeing a lot of loads of water, bottled water, and generators. Non-perishable food going into northern and central Florida.
Raincoats? Are we beyond raincoats?
Like
it's too you got to stay in. We're beyond raincoats at this point.
Yeah,
rain sideways.
I have a theory. You want to hear my theory about
raincoats?
If you're going down there,
yeah,
just go to the eye of the storm, right?
But wouldn't nothing happen in the eye of a hurricane?
Right, that's how you'll be safe.
Oh,
but you have to go through the eye wall to get.
You got to thread the needle. Can you fly above the storm?
You drop in.
Drop in from that Red Bull guy who jumps from space.
Just jump right into the eye of the storm.
That's actually what Nick Austin's going to do when we send him down there.
I hope so.
But
man on the scene.
There are a couple of interesting things about this. One was that at first, a broker at Nolan Transportation Group in Atlanta said, we're having trouble finding capacity. No one really wants to go into Florida. The loads are staying on the board.
You already don't want to go into Florida, right? I mean, it's a backhaul market.
But this morning, talking to Redwood, they said, the situation is changing. Drivers are realizing the opportunity. They have to make some money, they're asking us for loads into Florida now.
Oh, so it's like an opportunity because rates are going up?
Mm-hmm. So just that, and also
federal money might be rolling in,
federal
right?
money, so it's
that FEMA money.
The rates are high, and also you end up getting detained for several days, waiting down there for stuff to happen, for roads to clear so you can deliver.
Yeah.
But usually detention is guaranteed and generously paid when it's a FEMA or disaster.
So you're like,
contract.
let it rain.
FEMA!
Yeah, so you're like, I'll sit here for 3 days
rain, FEMA!
and get paid, $100 an hour to sit here for 3 days.
See what I did there?
It was like that frack slot girl.
Make
They
it
get paid what's called demurrage when they're in detention for like longer than 4 hours out in those like frack sand things. So she's like, yeah, I bring like lunch, dinner, breakfast, like keep me as long as you want. I'm getting paid.
And bring your PlayStation.
Seems much less stressful.
Yeah, well,
it's a great way
especially
to
the storm going
It's a
on.
great opportunity to get paid to play video games.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. You know what I mean?
Well, JP, we're glad you made it back
Yeah.
safe. We're
Yeah.
we're going to talk to Nick about the actual weather component of it, but
Awesome.
you're saying that people are actually starting to get woke to that market, and so rates might go up if they're sending more.
Definitely. And the loads are coming in from pretty much everywhere in the country except for the western 11 states. So anywhere
That's
from
very specific.
the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast to
Yeah.
Oklahoma and Texas, all feeding into it. And the thing about the way that disasters attract capacity is that once these trucks go in to drop off, they get, like I said, they get stuck there for several days. They don't recirculate back into the market. So it ends up pulling capacity and
Constricts other markets.
And then we might, if we get a traditional September container volume pop in LA, up to this point, all of those volumes have been absorbed by ample capacity, even an oversaturation of capacity.
Oh, it's going to get
California.
interesting.
But that might be different. So we think this could affect lots of different freight markets depending on the intensity of the storm, the damage, the duration of relief efforts, and all that kind of thing.
Well, you know what we say, or what our next guest says. All together now. Be safe.
Be safe out there, guys.
Out there. All right.
safe out
Thank
Is
you
that
for
what we
saying
say?
that.
Okay.
All right.
Isn't that what Nick says? Isn't that his catchphrase? Hashtag be safe out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that
mean,
is.
With the hayish?
all right, guys.
Not
Thanks
to-
for having me on.
All
Not
right.
to rush
take
you,
it
JP,
easy.
but,
Not to rush you. We're just
see
on
ya.
a slightly different
Next
schedule.
time we'll find out what kind of video games JP plays.
JP plays Red Dead Redemption 2.
That sounds pretty fun. I actually played Red Dead
Where is he?
Redemption
Where did Nick
1.
Austin go off to? The storm just blew him away. I did see him like roaming by. No, he had
is
like a
he-
very pensive look on his face.
Is he a pensive
and
look?
he was
A
like looking.
thoughtful
He was
look?
looking at his phone, and he was very thinking about exactly what to tell us and to tell his audience about what to look out for with this Category 4. Well, it's a Category 3, but this Category 4 hurricane that's about
Actually,
to make
right
landfall.
now,
Here he comes.
here he comes. Wow!
Forecast.
With Stone Cold Nick Austin. Hey, man, welcome.
What's
Hey.
up, Rainmaker?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey,
Pretty
good.
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 Hey, is FEMA going to make it rain?
Yeah, we seen you on TV. I mean, or on the internet multiple times today. You've been doing the stand-ups with Craig Fuller,
That's right. Yeah,
talking weather.
That's right.
All right, now give it to our audience. What's been happening? What was in your latest report?
Well, you know what's interesting is about 48 hours ago, it didn't look like this was going to be much at all.
Yeah.
And now it could be a Category 3 or Category
We-
4.
I think
We
hurricane.
came back from Denver, and all of a sudden it's like a
Yeah.
huge deal. You guys are doing stand-ups. Everyone's
I
talking
know.
about Dorian.
Big
the
deal, little
pictures of
deal.
Dorian
Hurricane
Gray.
Dorian.
Big deal,
Yeah.
little deal.
Picture of
Dorian
Hurricane
Gray.
Gray.
And you were
Hurricane
saying,
Gray.
and
Yeah.
you were saying
Hurricane
little
Dorian Gray.
deal, but now you're saying big deal.
Chad, do you know what that...
very
that-
big deal.
What a real literary quiz real quick. What is the novel Dorian Gray about? Picture of Dorian Gray.
I don't
Dorian
know.
Gray.
I've heard of it,
know
but I don't know
this.
what it's
I
about.
was an English major.
You should know this.
It's Victorian literature. I know.
All right,
that.
you're like really trying to work your way through it. Oh my God, it's Billy Kerr. Billy Kerr. Well, maybe I'll have him come in a second. Maybe he knows the answer. Hold on.
Dorian
Billy
Gray.
Kerr, come here really quick. Come here really quick, Bill Kerr. Bill Kerr from
think
Edge Logistics. So I have a trivia question for you. All right, are you prepared?
No, not at all. But
All right,
yeah.
so you know how the hurricane's called Dorian?
Yes.
Yes, all right, talk over the mic. The hurricane's called Dorian. What is Picture of Dorian Gray about?
I have no idea.
Oh, man.
What the
All right, so
heck?
it's about,
You
it's
pulled
about,
him in here to ask him
I
that.
did.
That's
a-
a hard one.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
hard
was
one.
hoping
It is
it was
hard.
going to be like
It is
sports or
hard.
something.
It is hard. No, I pulled him in here. Hit this real quick.
All right.
So you're not... There you go. All right.
One time,
All
very
right.
literal.
Guys, it's about a guy who didn't want to age. So we drew a picture, and the picture aged instead, but it showed all of his sins on the picture. So people
wow.
come by and be like, man, that guy, he looks good, but he's like really messed up. You
Yeah.
know?
I'm going to have to read that book.
How do you show the sins?
In the picture,
Yeah.
like kind of like Seven style, like it's like a tapestry, right? And like just more and more like effed up stuff keeps showing up on the oil painting.
Cool.
Wow.
Hey, what do you guys do in a hurricane like this? I guess while you're in here,
Right.
that's coming down to Florida.
Right.
JP was just in here. He said he talked to some brokers. Some of his trucks there were trepidations at first. They're starting to go down there now. What are you guys doing in a storm like this?
Well, there's definitely major capacity impacts from a big storm.
Just get you coming just a little bit. This mic is a little closer sense. Yeah, perfect.
We're trying to pre-allocate all of our dedicated freight in the area, although it's really hard to hold on to normal trucks once everybody's worried about their house and their family and everything like that down there. It's really hard to get people to go to work. So typically there's some delays.
And Labor Day, right?
Right, and Labor Day. But if it does happen on the holiday, I think that will help mitigate the impact of the trucking market a little bit. At least we won't miss a real Monday. But I'm just hoping everybody's okay down there. It sounds like it's gonna be really bad.
I know it's ratcheting up, and it's a bad weekend for it. I'm sure a lot of people are canceling plans to see their relatives and things like that.
Yeah.
If you think about it, though, if you're a driver, you're going to get paid more. You're going to get paid for your detention time, possibly. FEMA might help out.
Yeah,
you get to go sit there and hang out and play video games, right? And get
Is that FEMA money good? Have you gotten the FEMA money before?
It can be. It depends on how many people are affected typically.
Yeah.
And anytime there's a major population center majorly affected, like what happened in Houston was a really major market impact. The market impacts from that hurricane, all of Texas was pretty wild for about a month. Colorado, Oklahoma, a lot of major shippers flexed inbound freight from like their Houston, Dallas, San Antonio manufacturing plants to Denver, Los Lunas, like those markets. So there's a lot more long haul freight going in, but then there's not a lot going out because everybody's shut down. So you get a lot of trucks stuck, and a lot of people are driving home empty, which, leads
no backhaul, right?
Yeah, which leads to, rate escalations.
Yeah, so even though Florida's a huge state, will it necessarily be as big because it is a backhaul kind of market in general?
Yes, it will still be.
Okay.
It will still be pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks for joining us today, Will.
Thanks, Will.
You're following us everywhere.
Yeah.
It's great to see you here in Chattanooga.
Yeah. They told me there was a party, so
Was it Denver or was it Dallas or Denver that I saw you, or both?
Denver,
man. It's all blurring together. I guess, for you.
You guys do this like every day now, right?
Apparently,
yeah.
Because you just take this, you just go live, and we're as long as my iPad and my cowbell and this MFer or someone to sit there, we just go. We just
and then people
show
you
up.
too, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right,
appreciate it.
Thank you, Will. All right.
All right, Nick. Well, you got derailed a little bit.
A lot of hot air.
Yeah, that's okay.
When is this storm going to hit us? Or not us, Miami or Orlando.
It's going to hit
the U.S. Us, yes, a big us.
Labor Day.
And inclusive us.
The landfall will probably be on Labor Day.
Like Monday. Labor Day.
Next Monday, yeah.
Okay. Well, you said Labor Day, people could think the weekend, right?
I think that one of the trackers I saw is predicting maybe even Tuesday a.m., but will it happen before that?
How fast do these things move?
It's slow right now. It's only a category
like,
1.
They generally don't move that fast.
If you looked at it, could you see it moving?
No.
From space? Or,
I don't know.
Look at it from where? From like the Virgin Islands?
No, like just look at it. Like you look at a cloud sometimes. You can see clouds move once in a while. Like if there's enough wind. So look at that thing go. Or is it we have to like close your eyes for like 5 minutes?
There goes the cloud.
I just saw it move.
It moved a little bit.
I just saw it.
It moved a little bit.
All right.
So Labor Day.
We're running long on you.
Most likely, it's going to hit Florida. Somewhere on the east coast of Florida. It's still too early to tell exactly where, but it could be anywhere from Miami up to Jacksonville, or even Brunswick, Georgia, as far as landfall. But most likely, it'll be somewhere between like Miami and the Space Coast, which is where Cape Canaveral is.
The Space Coast.
Somewhere around there.
Great Space Coast.
Have you been to the Space Museum in Alabama?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Oh, is it nice?
It's really impressive.
Okay.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's really, really interesting.
In Huntsville.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's a really cool place. So, yeah, I mean, big storm. I mean, there's already been an impact on freight and, just trucking companies trying to get stuff down there.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Willie Kerr kind of stole your thunder. He just came in and he was like,
no, that's okay.
Exactly how it happens.
That's okay,
With that didgeridoo he calls a vocal cord.
Yeah.
That's a great sounding voice, though.
No, I love his voice.
I know.
I'd have him on all the time if I could.
Yeah. It's not from Smokey.
All right, sir.
Okay.
We will.
Anything else you want to know?
No.
Thank
Are
you.
you?
Okay.
Are you going on location, or is that going to be Kyle?
It'll be
Cunningham.
Kyle.
It'll be Kyle. All
But
right.
there's been a change of plans. I'll still be covering it, but most likely from
the Storm
FreightWaves
Center.
headquarters,
Okay,
Storm
you'll be
Center
like,
here, yes.
You'll be the guy in his
Correct.
earpiece, be like, the storm
That's right.
is now, the eye is now 90 degrees to the left.
But Kyle Cunningham will be helping. We'll get some, plenty of freight-related content.
Right.
Well, I'm
and
disappointed.
so,
I thought you were going to be going there to be able to watch the storm.
Well, sometimes plans change, and
okay,
you just have to go
just
with the
like
flow.
the weather, right?
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, well,
ain't no change
before
in the
Kyle
weather,
leaves
ain't
and
no
to all
change in me.
listeners, tell him your catchphrase.
Be careful out there.
That's right.
I thought it was be safe out there. That'll be mine then. Be
Either
safe
one.
out there.
Either one.
Hashtag.
See
All
you
right,
guys.
see you later,
All right,
dude.
see ya,
All right.
Stone
There's
Cold.
PG, there's Braddy G. Let's bring him on.
Uh-oh.
This has been a long time coming.
Uh-oh. What
Oh, is Emily
going
stealing
to-
his spot? Emily's going
Oh.
to jump in ahead of him.
Yeah,
Oh, you can come in. You can come in. We'll do
Okay.
Emily first. Who do you want to go? Do you want to let him go first?
He's on the phone.
Let him stay on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
He's making money
Good.
selling
Make
sonar.
him wait.
Good.
Yes,
Good.
he's selling that
good,
sonar.
Good.
Great to have you on, Em.
Yeah.
No problemo. We are playing some big deal, little deal.
All right.
Big deal.
Little deal. Big deal.
Little deal.
Whoa. Hurricane, big deal.
Oh my, yes. You
Yeah.
got to get ready for it. Well, that will be one of the
Do
questions.
they switch back and forth between the male name and the female name?
Yes,
Yes.
It rotates. And
Okay.
On even-numbered years, it's men's names, and on odd-numbered years, women's.
Okay. Perfect.
it's a man's name.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe it's the other way
I don't
around.
think, yeah. It's
Maybe it's the other way
Well,
around.
you never know. Baby
Wait,
names are going crazy.
Is
So maybe there's some...
Dorian's kind of unisex, right?
Look, he's getting
Androgynous.
fired up
I
now.
know.
7 minutes. Okay, you got 7 minutes.
I just do what I'm told, and I was told
No, it's
that
all
was
right.
next.
It's all right. We
Okay,
had Billy
we'll go-
Kerr jump in. The whole schedule's been a little
Okay,
flip-floppy today.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So, Dooner, you will go first.
Oh, I will, okay.
And this has made headlines throughout the week. Greenland being a new front in the U.S.-China trade war. Is that a big deal or a little deal? People talk about this.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a little deal now because Greenland was like to our president, Donald Trump. It would be a big deal if we got it because there's a lot of diendrium and things, names I'm making up right now, like phosphorus. No, and there's like stuff you put in cell phones and things there in the
Yes,
soil that we want. But like we just want to
the
buy it
minerals.
to like destroy it, right? Kind of.
I mean,
thing.
if I was
like,
Russia, I
suck
would
the
kind of
minerals
feel
out.
we annexed Crimea and got kicked out of the G8 summit.
Yeah.
You're going to annex Greenland? That's quite the annexation.
Well, then 53,000 people live in Greenland.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's the world's biggest island.
Yeah.
So for that reason, it's a big deal.
You're the world's biggest island.
I like that.
They called it Greenland. Like the people in Iceland were like, they called that Greenland because like, this is nice. We don't want people coming here. Trip ferries and
wasn't
sit in the hot
nice.
springs.
It
In
wasn't-
Iceland?
Yeah, it wasn't
Iceland was nice.
Iceland.
I thought
It was nice.
Greenland's
Greenland's not
beautiful.
nice.
It
Greenland's
was.
not
It's
nice.
not?
Iceland's beautiful.
It wasn't nice in Greenland, and so
Yeah.
Eric the Red, a murderer who was exiled there,
Yeah.
was like, call
He
it
trolled people.
Greenland and tell everybody to come on. It's awesome.
The
here.
great trolls of history.
Yeah.
So it's like a bait and switch. It's
Yeah,
really
totally.
not that.
Totally. He's like, tell them that's the good one.
yes, it's 80% covered in ice. Greenland.
Yeah, and then when they go there, they'll be like, if this is Greenland, the other one must like be really bad. Iceland.
And by it's like ruled or whatever by the kingdom of Denmark.
Yeah.
That's what it's within the kingdom of Denmark.
That's like back when the Kraken was
shouldn't
on
we-
Oceanic Map.
Wow.
Shouldn't we talk to Denmark about
I
this?
think we
You
should
didn't pick what
ask
kind of a
their
deal it is.
permission.
But it's a
He said
what's
it was
that?
a big deal because
Okay.
it's the
All right.
the world's biggest
All right.
island. So, Chad, Florida declares state of
Oh.
emergency for Hurricane Dorian. What category is this deal?
Well, it's a very big category.
Yeah.
It's a category for a hurricane. Everybody be safe out there. It should ruin your Labor Day plans. So for that reason,
It should?
It should ruin your labor.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're in Florida.
It looks to ruin your
Yes.
Labor Day
Language.
plans
Yeah.
out there
Okay.
in Florida, which
Yeah.
is a big.
It almost said like you were saying like it should. Like it should.
you should not
you
have a good
people,
Labor
yeah.
Day.
Please, everybody, be in mourning across the land and
Mhm.
let it ruin your Labor Day. No, it's going to
Yeah.
ruin Florida's Labor Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so big deal. And stay tuned with all of our coverage about the logistics slice of things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
I am not a negative person, so I try not to like think of the worst that can happen. I like to prepare for the worst. So it's a little deal until it becomes a big deal. But I think that people should prepare. It's good to see people preparing. I'm glad we're doing advanced coverage over here. I'm glad my show is preempted to give that advanced coverage. And I say that, no, honestly, it's more important than the goofy show we do here. We still covered some of the news and that stuff. And that was great. Billy Kerr stopped by, and he gave us a little insight, too, on what they do in a hurricane. It was really
I have
really
to
good.
say, I think you should give him a point on that one. That was really well. That was a good contrarian.
It was altruistic.
Point of view. I was
giving.
persuaded. I was starting to feel like, man, suddenly it's like a little deal.
Well, no,
So
I mean,
you
could be a
deserve
big
the
deal.
point on that.
All right,
one.
I'll take
If
it.
we're keeping score, you get a point.
Yes.
Dooner, Iranian businessmen were placed on the Office of Foreign Assessment Control's specially designated nationals and blocked persons list, that's a lot,
What?
for operating international networks to illegally divert controlled U.S. technology to support Iran's military. What kind of arms deal is this? Big or little deal?
Whenever you end up on the SDNBPL,
That's
you
long
know things
acronym.
are bad. You know, you're not going to get that TSA pre-screen. I don't know. Remember when people were buying PlayStation 2s to guide missiles with? It was that powerful.
Wow,
It might have been
that's
just
going
a Sony
way
marketing.
back.
Yeah, it is. I know. And then when you think back, you're like, well, no, that was only 2000, and you're like, wow, that was like 18 years. That was a good 18. That was a good 18 years ago. That thing's legal now. What is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
I've
I
lost
think
the
you're
plot.
losing the point.
I've lost the plot. I'm going to say it's a little deal because I don't even know what I was talking about.
You don't even know.
Oh, I was taking little deal. I thought you were saying it was a big
That's
deal.
what you get for jumping in. There's a fresh dig grave for you right there.
Anything with Iranian businessmen doing things suspect regarding their military.
How
I am
Back to the
going
Future
to
happened.
say is a
That was
big
the Libyans.
deal.
That was
We
the
need to be-
Libyans, not
we
the
need to-
Iranians
we need
in
to be-
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for interrupting my.
He was getting it.
It's a big fat hairy deal.
All right.
And everybody needs to watch out.
Okay. Well,
But they're on the
Chad.
list now.
Yes. No TSA pre.
So they don't need to
as you
watch
said.
out. Or do
Chad, big data vendor at scale surveyed businesses and found that while 78% believed they were at a medium or high level of maturity with their data, only 12% met the criteria for the level of maturity. What's the deal of this data?
The deal with the data, this is a little deal. It's sort of like everybody thinks they're super self-aware, but most people really aren't.
No.
Yeah.
So this is sort of like, I think I have a lot of data, but I really have no idea how much data there is. And you know what? For a little context next time, let's bring Ken Smith on to talk about he can talk in these technical terms about the size of data.
Yeah.
It's like you know how the ocean spans 2/3 of the earth. I think data will soon be spanning most of the earth.
Yeah.
So gigantic,
Well, it's in the
enormous
cloud.
deal
It's
for
everywhere.
underestimating how much data they
Exactly.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so mature, just like your data, Chad. Is
Yeah.
it? I mean,
Thank you.
I guess the concern here that would make it a big deal is people thinking they're further along with things than they are. They implement systems, they don't work. They go back to archaic ways of doing business, sending out faxes, and next thing you know, they're in an article on FreightWaves for a trucking bloodbath because they went out of business. So it's a big deal because people are probably thinking a little bit ahead. They think they're better than they are.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's,
I
have some
said it was
hubris,
a
have
big
some
deal.
data hubris.
Thanks for agreeing with me. I guess a
Yeah.
point to me, Emily.
Well, I'm saying what's a little deal is where their data's at, right?
Oh.
Little Icarus
So you're trying to
flying
have
their
your
data
cake
too
and eat
close
it
to the
too.
sun and he loses
He's
his
trying to
wings.
do
and
both.
Have
falls
you ever
back to
understood
Earth.
that saying, trying to have your cake and eat it too? I don't
You
really
want to you want to keep
Explain
you
it.
want okay.
To
You
look
love
like the
this
cake,
cake
right?
so much.
Yeah.
You want this cake. It's always going to be there. You can have cake anytime.
the
But then you
cake.
also want to eat the cake.
Yeah, then you want to cut into
yes,
it.
Yeah. So it's like
But
you
if I'm
want to have
having my cake, which is
But you're gonna
eating
eat-
my
But you
cake.
want it
No.
to stay looking like this. So you have a cowbell cake, right? And you're like, this is a great looking
if
cowbell cake.
If I'm having my cake
You're
and
eating.
eating it too,
But it won't look like a cowbell
like,
anymore
yeah.
once
Isn't
you
that
start.
the same thing?
Like,
Once you
no,
cut
no.
a piece off.
You
Okay.
want cake to always be there. But
Yeah.
if you eat it, it's not going to be there. But you want it to always be there and to
Yes.
eat it too. And it's like,
Oh,
yeah.
so that's what Dooner was doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was,
okay.
Cowbell was the cake.
The cowbell's the cake.
We're going to get you a cake shaped or a cowbell shaped cake.
That would
Yes.
be awesome.
Yes. We'll have
All
a
right.
party. Let's throw a party.
Nice.
How about just some
And make sure
mini
it's
cowbells to
hollow,
give
just
away?
like my insides.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Jeez
My
Louise.
soul.
these are getting
Yeah.
deep and
Yeah.
painful.
Yeah.
All right.
It's more like a telling our deepest, darkest secrets in here, not doing
Yeah.
big deal, little deal.
No wonder I'm getting
Dorian
high.
Gray. It's like the portrait. This is my portrait, and I am Dorian Gray. Do you know that? Do you know that book's
No.
about? Okay, good. All right. I only put
Okay.
Billy
I
Kerr on
can't
the spot,
believe
but
you're the one to bring on a literary allusion to the
And
to
it
the
wasn't
bride.
bad.
surprise people.
Okay, Dooner.
Yes.
Big deal or little deal? Joplin, Missouri is named the best city to be a trucker. Is this a deal worth driving for?
Well, Joplin, Missouri is named after Janis Joplin. She
Is
died
it
when she
really?
was 27.
No, it's not.
She
No, it's
died when she was
not.
27.
No, it is
Like
not.
Kurt
This is
Cobain
an
not.
outrage.
and Jimi Hendrix.
no.
I've
They
never,
don't have Hendrixville. They don't have
I don't know if
Cobain,
I've been
though.
to Missouri before.
Joplin?
I've definitely not been to Joplin,
That's where
Missouri.
it was devastated by tornadoes.
Yeah, they
Oh.
don't name tornadoes.
Is that why it's a great place
but-
to be a trucker? Because you're like on the road most of the time, and you don't have to be there.
No,
tornadoes
it's
hit?
the price.
Oh.
It's the average wage.
Yeah,
Oh.
they get paid well to
Yeah.
be there.
All right. Well,
Yeah. All right, so it's a
little.
are you-
I guess it's a little. It's a big. I guess I don't know. Is it a big deal? Why did our article start with the fourth best? That's what I'm still confused about. Odessa, Texas.
I don't know. Maybe because our correspondent is from Texas and everything's
Oh.
bigger there.
So no, he has to be like
Um,
filtered through his Texas filter.
Yeah.
It was just weird.
I
Yeah.
don't know though.
I don't know either.
And I will say that it is a big deal because Joplin is number one out of like 384 cities or towns that were looked at in the study. Big deal. Nice job, Joplin.
I'm wondering
right.
if it's where it's geographically located.
Could
Because
be.
you could get
Kind of
places quickly.
centrally.
The cost of living
Yeah, it
is
didn't
low
cost
there.
as much to live there.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to do.
There's got to be something there. Yeah, that's true. Okay, Chad, it's the FreightWaves
Ooh.
Global Meetup.
Oh,
Have you ever
really?
seen this much FreightWaves in one room? This is a big deal or little deal? That all
I
these
have
people are here.
not. This is a huge deal. People are coming from all around. It's great to see our colleagues who are doing things and to explain how we can play like 7-dimensional chess together. Like what's data doing and how does that impact like what Sonar's doing and how does that affect what we're doing and so on. And so big deal. Great to meet all of the wonderful people who work for our organization.
Yeah, no, we have like 30 journalists that we don't often get to see. You see their names in the articles, but they're out there on the beat doing their
Yeah.
reporting. I've worked with them on stuff like Freight All Kinds, but we don't get to see them that, and I don't want to say intimately because that
Yeah.
would sound kind of weird, but like that up close and personal. They're all here. The only thing is we've been hiring so many people. The company's grown so much that half the time, like the people here, I'm like, is this a new person or is this like a reporter out on the beat or is this like someone who broke in the building or is this a stranger? Although we got those new pullovers that Mr. Rogers put on over here, and they a lot of people are wearing them, so that's good. There's a little uniform.
So,
going
yes,
on.
so we know.
Yes.
I like this. I don't.
No,
think
I know
I
it's
look
nice.
Like
It's a
They're
nice
super
light
soft.
fleece.
I love the color.
Yes,
Good.
It's just the button-down shirt
I'm
with
gonna.
the
maybe
with that.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are back in your home, but you have
Yes.
been on the road.
Mhm.
So, Dooner, FreightWaves broadcasting their new conference
Oh, yeah.
booth. Is it an LED deal?
LED
We had a lot of LEDs.
deal.
It was beautiful. It
It
looked
was.
so
Yeah.
good.
It showed nice. I mean, it's hard to compare with what I had in Dallas to work with, but when I saw that booth,
There's no comparison.
no. You know what? We just took over like the stage at the press room and just
Yeah.
like put a table on there and worked with what we had to
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
with. But like this was fantastic, and it was like it was super well done. And then that trip to Dallas taught us something, and we needed some people. You scrambled right
Yeah.
at the end, and you found some people out there to help us out to get that one final component
Yeah.
in there. Everything looked beautiful. Well, we took a machete to that trail and cut right through it for you, so you'd be ready in Denver. Chad,
They
how
rolled
did
out
it feel
the
to walk
carpet.
on that?
Thank you. It was delightful. Like the carpet was special.
It was like snow though. That
it was like-
carpet.
it
It was
was
hard to walk in there because
It was
so like
the carpet was even
buoyant
better
or whatever.
right where we were broadcasting,
Fluffy.
I should say.
yeah.
And it was a big deal. It's fun. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
But I love the
Nice to be
new
back.
booth. It's when you take this to conferences, this booth,
Yeah.
you're a little cut off
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
what's happening out there, which I understand. Like, well, you want to be, you want it to be sort of encased or
Yeah.
whatever.
Sounds
But
better,
actually,
yeah.
Like a hermit crab.
when speaking of anyway.
Oh no, we get to keep our shell now, right? Like
Right.
now that we found
But
out
it's
that this
like-
isn't going with us on tour,
Yeah.
we have our own like
I like
booth
this,
that lets us be a part of the action.
I
So we're not
like
just
this-
like locked in here like we usually are.
I like this here.
Yes.
For the most part.
Especially now that there's some permanence to it.
Yeah. But it's nice to be able to be out there and engage with people who are, a part of the conference. If you have a little hum out there, so what? It's a part of what's
Yeah.
happening. So it was very cool, very fun. And what I'm excited about, like that digital display behind us that was saying what the truck, we can have rolling footage
you
behind
can
us.
play anything on there.
That when I was like wanting to be in a band, go for the big time,
All right.
it was always a dream of mine to have like rolling footage behind us in the band. Now we can have that for our broadcast podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Thanks for
for
joining
what's
us.
I'm
to come.
very excited.
Did
Thank
you dig
you
it?
guys.
Yeah.
Emily, as always.
Thanks for joining us.
A
Thank you.
big deal.
In the
Okay, I'll
blue
give-
Hillary Clinton dress. Just kidding.
What the heck?
No, it's
You
blue.
just compared
No, your
me
dress
to
is beautiful. I did
Hillary.
not
I think
compare you to
that
Hillary.
was-
She
I did
wears
not compare you to
pantsuits.
Hillary. I did
I'm
not.
wearing
That is
a
not. You're
dress.
right.
Was
I'm leaving.
What did I do? I'm sorry.
Dude, you want her
No, forgive me.
You offended Brad and told him he looked like he was in a frat the other day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now you
I'm
just offended
equipping
me.
too much.
Wow.
No, you don't look like Hillary Clinton. No, I said the dress had a blueness. I
You can't. You're
Oh,
not
she
getting
even left
out of
her
that
notes.
one.
She,
You're not. There's nothing you can say.
I know
that'll
that
get
look.
You out of that.
I've had that kind of look made to me before.
Oh
my gosh.
Way
What I
to
missed?
stick your
What I
foot in
missed?
mouth.
What I missed?
Have to do it. Over under. She'll talk to me again in 6 days.
Earnings over under.
Yeah. All right, Brad Ganane.
Welcome
All right.
back.
For those of for our loyal audience, there's been quite a delay in this this competition, this series between
Yeah.
Brad Ganane and me.
Well, I'll tell you
Which
why.
is shocking because so many people have been asking.
I
Yeah,
know.
I
And
know.
you're ahead 2-1.
And I keep telling him,
not-
I said, well, then the important earnings happen, so we had to bring JP in, like the transportation ones. But now we're back to the, it's just like regular old, earnings time, right? So we can talk about anything. She's not crying, is she? No, she's okay.
No, she's steaming.
She is steaming. I think I saw a little come off of her. All right. We'll start with Brad Ganane. We're going to talk about Five Below Inc., publicly held chain of discount stores in the United States.
He can see your answers.
He can?
Bro.
How good are his eyes?
He's being honest. At
He can't
least.
see them. All right.
Just work from the side.
No, you can look. Now I got to turn. I got to turn more towards me. Hey, stop it. Stop. All right. Five Below is a publicly held chain of discount stores in the United States which sells products costing up to $5.
Who, what? I didn't hear the
Five Below.
Five Below.
They sell products that cost up to $5, right? Was the earnings per share 50 cents?
Is it me?
Well, who goes first?
He does.
He's in the lead. Can I go first?
No.
Well, he might have gone first last time.
Don't care.
Under.
All right, over.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's start things off on a good note.
Ah!
They met.
They what?
They met.
They met. So
They met. Yeah, there's
So
Zach's
they-
consensus, even
But
though they
that's
saw a slight decline in sales.
Okay.
All right, just making
This
sure you're
is-
both awake.
This is such a tragedy.
I don't
It
get,
is.
I don't get what just happened.
Yeah, they met. So like, what
Somehow you're
happens is
ahead.
that
Somehow
so
I'm
like
winning.
it's like in a bet when you push. They're like, is the over under going to be 27 points? And they score
I didn't know that
27
was an
points.
option.
Yeah, I know. Now you do. That's how this game works. It's very dynamic like
okay,
that.
Okay.
All right. Now,
That's
so
what
it's
He makes up
earnings
the rules as we go.
over, under, or met.
Okay.
Okay.
Express Inc., the men's and women's mall fashion retailer. Earnings per share. Negative. Did they lose 15 cents or not?
Not
Not. So, wait.
over.
Okay.
I think
Negative 15 cents. So if it was like over, they would lose 14 cents, and under, they make money.
Okay. I say under.
You're going to say under. Where is it? I guess I'll just go like that.
What?
Well, I didn't know if I was to fail you or win him. I'm going to give him the win on that one because it's the negative 13 cents.
Oh,
And that
they
was-
didn't lose as badly
Yes,
as you.
But sales and e-com, we've been talking about that retail apocalypse, right? Sales and like in retail sales and e-com were down 6% and 7% respectively. You guys shop at like Express or Limited at all?
Every
Well,
now and again,
clearly.
can't you see?
Yeah, that's Under Armour. They carry Express.
Yeah, I think so does
Sodas.
so does
Oh.
Soda Pops.
Dick Sporting Goods.
Yeah, you're just are you
Academy.
okay?
There we go.
Brad,
I get 2 points for that, right?
Negative, Captain.
That
It's
was a double.
tied 1-1.
That was the old double.
wait a second. It's
Like
there's
in
no
fact,
point in the first one.
I think he loses.
Well, you were right, right?
Yes,
So
thank you.
It's 1-0.
Oh, you did.
You
Oh,
neither
so
got a point.
Oh, he didn't get a point on the first
Nobody
one?
said met.
Oh,
All right, stay in the game. There's only a few more. Tiffany and Company.
Okay.
Talking the finer things in life,
Love it.
right?
Yeah.
Tiffany & Company, you're familiar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You have a lot of Tiffany.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Breakfast at Tiffany's, classic.
Lots
The
of
only
toe
Tiffany
rings.
thing I own is a candle holder. Someone gave it to me for my wedding. This guy Lexi, I went to college with. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
But I only have
Thanks,
one
Lexi.
candle.
That was nice.
Yeah, just one candle holder. I don't know what to do with it. It's almost like Clue style. But I hope he's chilling out there. So, earnings per share, $1.05.
Your turn.
Over.
Yes.
Over.
Okay.
Over $1.05.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm going to go over. Yeah.
All right. You're right. 2-1. The earnings per share was $1.12. But they missed on revenue. And you know what they blamed?
No.
They blamed, and these are, put out your earnings per share bingo.
Toe rings.
They did not blame toe rings. You know what they blamed?
They blamed headwinds.
No, they blamed Hong Kong and a lack of interest by foreign tourists. Yeah. Not enough tourists are coming to America and be like, I need to get some Tiffany.
I mean, at least that's
toe ring.
honest, right?
Yeah.
There was just a lack of interest.
They're like, if it
Like,
wasn't
I don't know.
If I
not
was
for
a
Hong Kong, is that lack of interest
If I
with
was
the
a
tourists?
shareholder, that would do.
And it was those foreigners that
Yeah.
should have been more interested.
Yeah, should have just bought some of our stuff. They didn't want it. All right, we're going to stay a little more high end here, right?
All right, my turn first.
What's your
Okay.
kitchen look like? You got some Williams Sonoma in there?
Ooh,
So the high-end
yeah. Get some
cookware,
all-clad.
Waffle maker.
What is that, like a Vitamix blender? You guys do that?
No, I got some. For our wedding, we got some
We didn't get
really
married?
good. We got some.
You're wedding to your wife.
all
I was like, when
clad.
did we get married?
Yeah, not when you and I got married.
All
No.
right.
We didn't. We got a cowbell.
You got a Tiffany cowbell. It was only $50,000.
What are you asking me?
Can't even sell it to a foreign tourist anymore because of Hong Kong. They can't come here.
Just a general lack of interest.
All right. Did you guys say it was 83 cents?
Okay, 83 cents.
Yes.
That they're over, that they're above, that they're doing. Go Williams!
Why
and
do you always
Sonoma.
like in the middle of the game forget how the game works? Is earnings per share was it over or under 83?
I didn't
Like,
just
it's
like.
over,
Is
it's
it?
over. I don't know.
We're just having a good time.
I was like, is it
Just a couple
negative
guys in a booth
83 or
too small.
positive? That's
It's a
it.
positive. It's a
Okay, yes,
positive.
over.
Okay.
All right. Man, that was hard.
Yeah, that was tough.
You better go contrary.
It's magic.
Frere.
I'm going to go with Met. Dun, dun, dun.
You are not doing good.
Yes!
No, so
Yes!
their CEO, Laura Albert, she said our performance year to date demonstrates that our initiatives are successfully driving consistent, profitable growth across the business, and we are confident that we will build on our market share gains in the second half and longer term. As a result, we are raising our full year guidance for net revenues, comp revenue growth, and EPS. So Williams and Sonoma, throw it down the cowbell beater.
Woo!
I knew that answer, so that's why I said what
You
I
threw it?
I threw it.
I mean,
He-
like,
he
that's an
met.
automatic disqualification, but that's
Oh, I know.
We'll let you go.
Get
One
outta here.
more. One more. I mean, I think you are automatically disqualified on points to begin with,
Really?
but let's play
Okay.
one right here,
Yeah,
all right?
let's just for.
One for the home team.
Don't
Come
be
on.
jelly. JM Smuckers.
Oh,
JM Smuckers. Earnings per share, $1.75.
It's you, right?
No, I just went.
Oh.
It's one or the other.
He's going over.
Let's just for fun. Let's just say under.
You score with fun.
Wow!
Under $1.58.
Golly! Did
Oh,
I
squash
destroy
strawberries.
You know, I had a
You've
really
gotten
nice
quite
time
the
today.
jam.
I feel slightly cheated. There's something going on here. I'm
Well,
not sure
hey,
exactly what
at
it is.
least it's a tie.
Here's a bonus point. Their CEO,
I just don't want the fun
first
to
name
stop.
Mark. First name is Mark. What is his last name?
Their CEO
Yeah.
for bonus points.
Yeah.
Their first name is
It's Mark.
Mark
CEO Mark _. Like, what is it?
Smuckerberg.
Smuckerberg. Yes, he created Jam Book,
Really?
where you book your jams. No, it's just Smucker, not
Smuckerstein.
Smuckerberg.
I was close.
It is
I
Smucker, yeah.
totally made that up.
Why'd you put a berg at the end? Why'd
I
you just
don't
go with
know.
Smucker at that point?
Because it was Zuckerberg.
It's called Smuckers. Why would it be called Smuckerbergs?
I don't know, because I was thinking Zuckerberg and I just thought it was some random.
All right. Well,
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was,
You're
nice,
on fire
nice
today.
job, dude.
Nice job. Thanks
I
for
know.
having me.
yeah, he said he's just confident in their strategy. Even though,
I
they
just
didn't-
love the
yeah.
explanations.
Yeah. He was like,
More than
well, do you want to
anything.
raise a longer one? He goes,
I wonder if he has anything to say
No,
about
he doesn't.
we remain
about
confident in our
foreign
strategy,
interests.
which includes a continued focus on our growth imperatives to lead in the best categories, build brands consumers love, and be everywhere, combined with a relentless focus on operating with financial discipline, all of which will enhance shareholder value for long term. This is like when I would write papers, but I hadn't read a book in school. I'd be like, I'm going to like throw a bunch of random buzzwords together and like hope they're like, oh, okay. Meeting adjourned.
Yeah, so long as this wasn't plagiarized.
This sounds good to me.
Lack of foreign interest for 500.
Oh. All right.
Okay. I don't know. Hey, it was great to have you in
See
here.
you later.
See you later, Ganane. Insane Ganane.
Yeah, see, this is what happens when you silence your Slack notifications for only an hour in your show.
But I liked that it like hit right on the. It was very good.
Right when he was done?
Yeah.
The Slack notification?
Yeah. It was almost like a drum roll.
I get like Slack PTSD, though, when I hear that note. Because it's usually silence. And when I hear it, I'm like, what do I got to do?
Right. No,
what do they need me for?
I know. Slack is it the next email?
I don't know. But you know what? Our listeners, they can't Slack us. But we have a comment section on FreightWaves.com. It's time to hear back from you guys. We've been on the road a whole bunch, right? We haven't had a chance to hear back, so let's do it.
Comment section rodeo. Yeah!
Okay, so from the article, the ATA chairman, Barry Pottle.
That's the Pottle calling the Barry.
Calls for new fuel taxes and intensified lobbying efforts. So here is one of the comments this very day, really kind of in the middle of the night. He needs to
1:32 a.m.
Yeah, he needs to keep his damn nose out of it. There is enough taxes to go around. He just want to fill his own issues. The fuel tax will hurt the individual trucker. All right.
I mean, that's Haert. You're
I
hurt.
think he was like
the
spelling
German
with his thumbs.
I think it needs an umlaut.
Haert.
All right, Curtis Smith.
Haert.
Curtis Smith. He says, companies are struggling as a result of this kind of political harassment in the trucking industry, and American families are suffering because of it.
Yeah.
Taxes on the trucking industry? Really, Mr. Pottle? A federal fuel tax on trucking to pay for infrastructures? Have you seen fuel prices? I've been driving trucks 19 years, and diesel is higher than unleaded fuel, and it's never been higher than unleaded gasoline. People who are in politics are destroying the industry.
Capital D.
They're destroying it.
Oh, man. No, I agree, and I hear you. And this is from the article, another trucking company announces its closures today. This guy, Vance Laws, yesterday wrote, I have held a Class A license since 1993. So that's a long time.
Yeah.
Right? Have had my own business twice in the field. I've been a manager with 3 companies, and this year I have decided to try and find another line of work. I'm 45 years old. That's not that old, right?
Yeah.
The government has made the field horrible and almost intolerable. I used to enjoy the career. Now I've wasted over 20 years in it.
Damn, that's sad.
That he feels that way. The government, along with the ridiculous insurance rates, have also made it almost impossible to have a profitable business. Add in all the BS, and it's not hard to understand why this profession is in turmoil. Goodbye, CDL life. I will not miss you. Wow. That's actually a candid, interesting comment.
A eulogy on his career as a driver. All right. I mean, that's what I like to read the comments,
a lot of it makes sense that you're getting squeezed, and you're getting squeezed, and you're getting squeezed, and it's just like, I'm tired, you know?
This is okay. So this one's from Mario, and this is one of those guys that even though it's like not a new sentence, he capitalizes like the first letter of each line. He writes,
"Yeah, it looks like poetry."
Mario, this is because maybe it is. Is this a haiku? Let's try it. This is because Mexican companies are now allowed to deliver freight all over USA and pick up a load and take it back to Mexico or Canada. Is that a haiku? That's 575.
It's almost got like iambic pentameter going on.
Yeah.
This
not
is
a haiku
by John Titman. Looking from the outside in, there are too many long-distance carriers. Just as in any industry, when you have a glut of supply, prices are going to drop. And depending on how many companies are in financial difficulty, it becomes a race to the bottom in pricing. It has nothing to do with the government or Mexican trucking companies.
Oh, so he doesn't agree with Mario. This guy's name is Old School. You said it all, Brian. You don't want to work if you only work 8 hours a day. You ain't no truck driver. You're a steering wheel holder. I've been doing this since 1990, man. Paper logs is where it's at. So anyway, you can't make money today. I seen my paycheck cut in half. I was making more money in the 90s than I am today. Yeah, Brian, you couldn't have made it in the 90s. We'd leave Murfreesboro, Tennessee on a Sunday, being right outside of Monday night to unload Tuesday morning, and I don't get my CDL from a driver's school. I earn mine. Companies are sticking it to drivers. Now I have a company that I left 2 weeks ago. Now I have a company that I left 2 weeks ago, and they owe me $2,000, man. I never had that problem back in the day. Right safe.
That was quite the performance. And on that note, I think we conclude comment section rodeo.
Yep.
Yeah, so wow.
That's about it, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. What do you got going on this weekend, dude?
I'm going to ride out the storm. Oh, FreightWaves Radio, I think we're going to be doing live storm coverage. Craig Fuller and a whole host of characters are going to be in the studio. We had some great taped interviews from all these conferences and everything. We're going to do some live stuff as well, but I think now the whole damn show might be dedicated to Hurricane Dorian. We're going to really break this thing down.
Rightfully
right down to the nuggets.
Rightfully so.
Right down to the ingredients.
It's fun to think about how you can strategize.
Strategery. My hurricane strategery is to abandon my home.
Yes, indeed. So there is a lot to cover there. That's cool. Yeah. So that's one of the things you're going to be doing.
What is that on? Road Dog Trucking, Sirius Radio, channel 146, 3 to 5 p.m.
Such as I've heard.
Yeah. Then on demand anytime thereafter.
What is that on Mountain Time?
I know. Are you still on Mountain Time? Is it still only 1 o'clock for you?
I feel like
3? Where are we?
I've got a permanent disability now.
That you're just in everything you're just reducing by a couple hours.
Yeah, I'm just dude, I'm just on Mountain Time.
Took your dog. I took my kids late to school. It's first day. I took them 2 hours late because of Mountain Time.
Yeah.
Don't let it happen to you, kids. Turn that key in the ignition. FreightWaves.com. Subscribe to us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Everywhere podcasts are heard around the world. Like FreightWaves on your social media platform. You'll get a notification that goes a little like that whenever we go live.
On one the drum.
Now bang your little cowbell into the weekend. Bang your little cowbell for seeing David Hurricane Dorian.
And stay safe out there.
Bang your cowbell for that Beyond Chicken coming to KFC.
I am going camping is what I'm going to be doing.
Bang your cowbell for your painting that doesn't let your face age but shows all your dirty little sins.
Wow. On that note.
Goodbye.
Okay, I need air.